Hello everyone. Today's tutorial is going to be about changing colors in LNZPro. I've come across a couple of people asking about this and it's quite easy, but you need to know where to look to be able to do it. I'm opening up the orange short hair, expand lines, go to the adult, and then the first thing that we might want to change the color of is the eyelid. So that's here you can see it says 256 eyelid color. If you don't know what the numbers represent, so this first one is the color. If you don't know what the numbers represent, go to Help, Pet Editing Manual, expand this section, General Editing Information, and as you can see, there's colors, and that's the color chart. There's also a ball numbers chart, and the first one is for dogs, the second one is for cats. I'll go back to the colors chart. You see here it's 65. 65 on the chart is this orange color. If we want, we can change that. We'll make it black. So that's 35, as you can see there. Make that 35. And then the next area where you're going to have colors is going to be the addball section. Every section is conveniently labeled, as you can see. It has this header, and then it also has these column headings that tell you exactly what each column does. It's not always perfectly aligned, so just watch out for that. In the case of the addballs, color is the fourth column. So if I scroll down, these first ones are not colors, addballs that you really need to worry about. Actually, they're omitted, so it doesn't really matter. But then you come down to the nose and then the ears. So in cats, a lot of the ears are made up of addballs, and in cats, the base nose ball is omitted, but the nose is constructed from 3 addballs. The addballs in the oshi are already, for the nose, are already colored black, but I'm going to make them a pink shade. So I'm going to make them a not texturable pink color from this section here. Let's go with 187. If you look at the end here, this is actually the texture column. We've been through that in a previous tutorial, I believe. So as you can see, it's currently texture 2. That texture is no longer going to turn up in the pet because I've just made it an untexturable color, so it's just going to appear flat. But I don't really mind because it's the nose. Then we have these sections of the ears, and as you can see, they're mostly orange 65, but there's a couple here that are not. You see the 45s? Those are the inner ear linings. So with the inner ear linings, again, I don't mind if they're untextured, so I'm actually going to make them a pink as well. I'm going to go with 187 again to match the nose. And then the rest of it, I want to make black. So I'm going to go with 35 in all of them. Okay, then the next section that has any colors in it is the ball info section. And as you can see, when you have an unedited file like this, you actually have labels for what all the balls are. So as you can see, you've got ankle, ankle, belly, etc. So you don't really need the ball number chart. But if you've edited the file, for example, if you've edited it in Pet Workshop, these won't be here anymore. So if you're doing any kind of, or also in the pet file, so if you're doing any kind of editing where these don't appear, just use your ball number chart. And remember that it starts from 0. So this is ball 0, and then we go 1, 2, 3, etc. All dogs have the same order and all cats have the same order, but they're not the same between the two species. So just watch out for that. Remember to use the correct ball number chart. Again, the headings at the top tell you what each column is. So you have texture at the end, and you can change that, and you have the color right at the beginning. So again, I'm going to go through and I want to make this cat entirely black. So I'm just going to go and change everything, even the ones that are 45. I just want it to be solid black, so I'm going to do that with everything. except I'm going to skip these two because these are the eyeballs. I don't want to make those black. And then these two are the iris balls, which are 244 is the pupil color, and then the iris is here. So if you want to change eye color, this is where you would do it. Let's give them a different eye color. So let's give this cat bright blue eyes. Let's go with like 154 maybe. So I'm going to change this from the golden color that it currently is to 154 like this. Now I've changed the iris color. Carry on changing the ball colors. So I'm just going to scroll down a little bit more. Just going to make them 35 there. Those are the jowls. They were colored a little more light than the rest. The nose bowl, this is omitted, so it doesn't really matter. The toes, which in the Osh are all cream. Then we come to the tongue. I'm going to leave the tongue as it is, and then we come to the whiskers, which are currently gray. I'm going to leave the whiskers as they are. And then the last two balls that we need to change are the wrists. These last two are omitted. You don't need to worry about them. And now we should have a cat that when it comes out of the adoption center is going to appear black with a pink nose and pink inner ears. The last thing we might want to change is the paw pads. The paw pads are under paintballs. We've been through this a little bit in a previous tutorial I did about texturing paintballs and anchoring paintballs. And in the case of those, they're currently 29 colored. You can see this is the color column here. I'm going to go ahead and change that as well. I'm going to make them 185, the same as the ears and nose. All right, I'm going to save this now. Okay, so we're going to launch Petz 4 and have a look at this cat. And as you can see, we are going to need to make one more change. And that's because I left the texture as it was. But I wanted to show you that because it's quite a commonly overlooked thing that obviously if you've left the texture and it's not a transparent texture, that's what it's going to look like when you launch the game. Okay, it's quite cute still, but I wanted it to be solid black. So we're just going to wait for the cat to fully go out the door because otherwise you won't be able to do this. And then scroll to the texture list, which is here. And just change these two. So where it says Model 2 and Model 5, those are the semi-transparent textures on the body. Just change them to 1. And that now means that the cat will, the texture will take on the colors of the ball underneath, which is going to be black in this case. Save again. Reopen Petz 4. And now we have a solid black cat. There we go. And that's it. So using LNZPro to change colors is really easy. It's just a case of knowing where to look for all the different sections. Now, I'm going to actually adopt this cat. We'll just keep him called Scaredy. Great. I'm going to put him away. And you do have to close the game to do this. I'm now going to open up the pet we adopted. And this is the first time I think I've showed pet files in LNZPro or on this channel in general and how to edit them. You can't edit pet files in Pet Workshop. So if you're going to edit a pet file, there's basically two ways to do it. One is to convert them to breed files and then open them up in Pet Workshop and do your edits as usual. And the other method is, of course, to just use LNZPro. So I'm going to briefly show you a little bit of what that looks like and how you can change the colors of a pet in LNZPro. This is something people usually call brexing as opposed to hexing. And you don't really need to touch the child. You can just work on the adult, and those changes should also carry over to the child. So I'm not going to touch the texture list, I'm just going to leave it as it is, but say that we actually want this cat to have different colored eyelids and a different body color. Let's say we want it to be a chocolate color instead. So remember in our color chart, I want it to be chocolate colored, so that's here, let's say 95-ish. The first thing I'm going to want to do is change the eyelids. So I scroll down and look for where the eyelid header is. It's exactly the same as in the Breedfile. Here you go, you see 35 there. And I'm not going to make it 95, I'm going to make it very slightly darker. I prefer to do that with the eyelids, so I'm going to make it 97. Then you see again we have the addball section, same as in the Breedfile, but slightly less clear to see where everything is. There's no headers at the top, there's no column headings at the top. So, and it's a little harder to see where everything is, and there's no comments in it, but you can still more or less make it out. And you can see also what the base ball numbers are, which can help once you know those. So 37 is the nose, and 8, 10, 9, and 11 are all the ear addballs. So if I go along here, you see the 187 is still there. I'm not going to touch that. I still want it to have a pink nose, but I'm going to change all the 35s that I see here to 95 instead. And it is a little more fiddly than working with a Breedfile. This one I'm going to skip because it's the inner ears. And then again, I'm going to scroll down and you're going to come to the lines section that doesn't have any colors in it, and we come to the balls info section. So again, I want to change all of these to 95, all the 35s to 95. If I wanted to change specific ones, I'd look at my ball chart. They're still in the same order as they are in the Breedfile, so just look at the ball chart and count down. These are the eyeballs. Skip those. And I come to the iris balls. The iris balls, I might want to change the eye color perhaps. So let's see. What do we want to change it to? Maybe we can change it to green. Let's go with green. So let's go with 217, I think. And then carry on changing these. The tongue, the whiskers, and then finally these wrist balls. And the last part you might want to change is, of course, the paintballs. I don't want to. I'm just going to leave them as they are, but it's just the same. Okay, I'm going to save this then. And we're going to launch Petz 4. This works exactly the same if it's Petz 5. There's no difference. And you see that the preview pictures of a black cat, but he comes out and he's chocolate, except as you can see, the eyelids are still black. That's just how the game works with the eyelid colors. You need to go to restore original colors and do that, and then you will have the chocolate eyes. Now, if I age this cat up, you see that the eyelids revert to black. This only happens if you on the same day that you've made the edit. So if you come back tomorrow, the changes will be permanent. So I just again restore original colors and we're back to chocolate. It's just what's saved in your registry that's causing that. All right, and we're going to go back to the adoption center. I just want to show you that the Breedfile is unchanged. They're two totally separate things. I'll adopt this one as well. All right. Okay. Oops, that's my Umbrian. And there we go. We now have two cats from the same breed file. One of them is chocolate, one of them is blue, and all our edits were done, is black, sorry, and all our edits have been done entirely in LNZPro. Okay, thank you for joining me today, and please, as usual, leave any comments. Let me know if you have any particular requests. I'm always happy to do tutorials if I think that I can do them justice. Thanks for watching.